up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe, and today I'm really excited because I got some book mail. Yay! This box is empty. Haha, tricked you. I'm super excited because I got book mail this week, and I have been put on a budget. I've been put on a book buying budget, and it's very difficult for me. But I'm doing well. My husband and I are trying to save some money so we can move out of Memphis and this apartment and get a house. So I am on a book buying budget. However, there are some really great resources out there to buy cheap books, and one that I love is Bookoutlet. It's an online book retailing store where they have a massive collection of books that are super cheap. For example, I got 8 books for $35. 8 books for $35. I typically spend like $30 on 3 books, even if I'm getting them from Amazon. So I absolutely love this site. They do only have some books, they don't have all books, but they really have a great collection of young adult books, fantasy, adult, coloring books, kids books, middle grade books, manga. They've got so much stuff. I'll leave a link below so you guys can check out the website. It's just awesome. You also get to like save up points, and for every so many points, you'll get like credit towards buying more books at the store. It's amazing. Also, this is not sponsored by them. I wish it was. If you guys would like to sponsor me, I ain't gonna say no. All right, so this shouldn't take too long. I haven't actually read most of these books. I've only read one of them, but I just thought it would be fun to share with you guys what I got. So without any further ado, here we go. The first book that I got is titled Exit Pursued by a Bear, and this is written by E.K. Johnson. I have not seen this book anywhere. I don't know. It's been on my wish list forever, and I don't remember where I saw it, but it looks awesome. The cover itself is really beautiful, and it's not very long, which I also really love. I think it's like 250 pages, and you guys know how I feel about short books. I believe it's about a girl in high school who is head cheerleader. She is Miss Popular. She is queen bee of her high school. However, one night she is sexually assaulted and her life is changed forever. And that is basically the gist of this story. I believe that her best friend is a big part of her and her healing process through this. I'm really, really excited to read this book. I think it sounds amazing, and it's been on my list forever, so I'm really excited that I was able to finally get it. The next book that I got is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. This obviously has won just a few awards. I've heard so many people rave about this. I am very, very excited to read it. It's basically the author, Jacqueline Woodson. It's her story of what it was like growing up as an African American in the 1960s and 70s. And it's all told through poetry and like verse. And I am such a big fan of that. So I've heard people call this poetry. I've heard people say it's a memoir told in verse. I guess it's kind of the same thing. Either way, whatever it is, I'm very, very excited to finally read this. I've just heard that it's so powerful and really poignant, and I cannot wait to get into it. Gotta roll up my sleeves because I'm sweating over here. It's getting hot in the south, y'all, and I like it. Moving on. I'm super excited about this next book that I got because it is one of my friend's favorite books. She raves about this book, and I've really been meaning to read it forever, but I just haven't bought it or gotten around to it. It is Station 11 by Emily St. John, and this sounds so good. I cannot wait to read this. This is, I believe, a dystopian adult fiction novel, and some of the describing words that I'm reading right now, it says an audacious, darkly glittering novel, and I just think that sounds amazing. I just need to read this because I feel like it puts it in perfect perspective. It says, set in the eerie days of civilization's collapse, Station 11 tells the spellbinding story of a Hollywood star, his would-be savior, and a nomadic group of actors roaming the scattered outposts of the Great Lakes region, risking everything for art and humanity. It sounds really good. So what I really know of it is not a lot, but I think it's about a group of people who are just kind of trying to stay alive, and I think that's probably like a very, very high level overview of what this is really about. I think that there's like a plague that happens, or like some sort of virus that kind of breaks out and starts maybe killing people. I'm not positive. I really don't know a lot about this, but I have heard just really, really fantastic things, and I can't wait to read it. I keep saying that I'm really excited about all of these books, but I really am excited about all of these books. This next book I'm really excited excited about because I just finished the audiobook for this and it was awesome. And I really needed to own a physical copy because I just loved this story, and that is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. This is really good and totally worth the hype that it got. I've heard whispers of this book. I've seen it all over stores, Target, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, you name it. It's everywhere. I was a little intimidated by the size. I think it's like 450 pages. And I know it's an adult fiction and I'm still just kind of tiptoeing into the adult fiction realm, so I was a little intimidated. So I decided to do the audiobook and I loved it. It was, oh my goodness, I could not stop listening to it. I was obsessed. It was like a 15-hour audiobook. I just could not stop listening. It's hard to kind of describe what this is about, but basically it's set in like Australia. The show is not. There is a show, HBO did a show on this, like a mini series. I think they're actually coming out with season 2. I haven't watched the show yet, but I've heard like phenomenal things. It's won like a ton of awards, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the story follows 3 main characters who are all moms of kindergartners, and they all meet like on orientation day at kindergarten for their children. And each one of these moms is going through some really intense things, some really hard personal home related issues. I felt like I was like peeking into the windows of these women's houses. Like it was like you just knew everything, but they didn't all know everything. And there's drama because there's like these like PTO moms, and then there's like the really like kind of mom. In like the first chapter, we find out that a murder happens on this like trivia night for the adults for like a charity event for the school. And so the whole book is like going back and like leading up to the events that happened with the murder and like why the murder happened and who was murdered and who murdered the person. And it's just so good. It's so good. It was like just so captivating. I totally loved this and I'm so excited that I have the physical copy now. The next thing I got was a manga, and yay! I was so excited to find some manga on bookoutlet. And so I picked up Dream & Sun Volume 1 by Ichigo Takano. This is the same author that wrote Orange, and you guys know how I feel about Orange. I loved it. It's my favorite manga thus far. And so I've been really wanting to pick this up, and it was so cheap. It was so cheap. Oh my, and it's in perfect condition. By the way, all of these books are in perfect condition. They even say online that like some of them are scratch and dent copies. I don't know where the scratches or dents are, but anyway. This is the first volume of the series. I think it's still ongoing. I think they just released like volume 7 or 8 like last month, but this is the first volume. I have yet to read it. I plan to read it this weekend. I'm very excited. This is about a main character whose mom has died and her dad has remarried, and her dad and stepmom basically don't care about her at all, and they only care about the 6-month-old new step-baby brother that she has, and she just really feels ignored. One day, she decides to skip school and run away. She ends up meeting a mysterious, strange man in a kimono who offers her a place to stay. However, she can only stay in this place on 3 conditions. The first condition is to tell him why she ran away from home. The second condition is that she must retrieve his missing house key. And the third condition is to have a dream and fall in love. Our main character has never fallen in love before or even had a dream of her own, but she really wants to have her own apartment, so she's willing to try. This story just sounds so quirky and odd, but like whimsical and kind of funny, and I'm really excited to meet our main character. I just think she sounds kind of silly and maybe naive, which is something I actually really loved about the characters in Orange too, so really looking forward to reading this very soon. The next book that I got is called Paper Butterfly by Diane Wei Lang. And this is an Own Voices novel. I'm really excited to read it. I actually thought that this was something different than what it is. I thought, for some reason I had it in my head that this was like not at all what it is, but that's okay. I'm still very excited to read it. It's a mystery novel actually, and it follows our main character, Mei Wang, who is a successful private investigator. Apparently, private investigator work is actually illegal in China, so she really can't do her job without being very stealthy. One day, a businessman from a record label contacts her and tells her that one of his singers has been missing for 4 days. So essentially, we just follow Mei as she tries to uncover what happened to the singer and hopefully find her. Like I said, this is Own Voices. The author was born in Beijing, so I'm really excited to learn more maybe about this culture and enjoy a really fun story. The next book that I got, I'm really excited about. I've been wanting this book for a while, and I think the cover is just beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to starting this one pretty soon. That is Mad Miss Mimic by Sarah Henstra, and I am excited about this one. This is not typically something in my realm of what I like to read because it is set in London in 1872, and I struggle with reading historical fiction. It's just not my favorite, guys. Let me tell you that I might be really, really bad at math, but one thing that I probably am worse at is history. I feel so bad because I feel like I should like history. I should enjoy history and the things that have happened. I do in a sense, but I just don't. I just get so bored. Like history class was not fun for me. Boring. It was so boring to me. I don't understand it. I wish I could be like super cool and know all of this historical stuff, but it was like in one ear and out the other. So with that said, I have a hard time enjoying historical fiction. However, I would really like to start getting into it more, and perhaps I might start enjoying history and learning more about history if I read some historical fiction. This follows a 17-year-old heiress who is a part of upper class society in London. She's super beautiful and super rich. However, she has a speech disorder that causes her to stutter, but also gives her the ability to perfectly imitate people around her. So of course, her servants start calling her Mad Miss Mimic behind her back. Because she has this speech disorder, she does end up scaring off a lot of suitors. And I believe that there's more to this story in the sense of there's something going on with like a bad boy and maybe some like drugs that he's trying to sell, and she ends up meeting him and maybe they end up falling in love. I'm not quite sure. But it sounds like it's really fun. Maybe like some really fun action in this book. I'm really looking forward to getting into it and maybe getting out of my comfort zone and being pleasantly surprised. All right, you guys, the last book that I have in this book haul is Essential Maps for the Lost by Deb Coletti. I don't know a lot about this book. It's funny because I believe I used to really like this author in middle school maybe. This is definitely young adult fiction. I don't know if it's gonna be that good, but this reminds me of something that I would have read in middle school or high school and really liked. I think this author reminds me a lot of Sarah Dessen. I could be wrong, but I believe she writes a lot of like young adult romance fiction novels. In this book, our main character, Madison, I believe she's about 17 years old, is feeling just very lost. She doesn't seem to have a good relationship with her mother, and she just doesn't know what to do with her future. One day, while she's canoeing out in the middle of a lake, she actually collides with a body in the water. And I believe the story kind of unfolds from there. I really don't know what else to say about this. It sounds fascinating. It might fall really flat, but it was like $1, so I got it. Sounds good enough for $1. All right, you guys, well, those are all of the books that I got from my book outlet haul. I hope you liked this video. If you've read some of these books, let me know if you like them. Please don't spoil me because I haven't read most of them. But if you did see one in this video that you did enjoy, let me know and encourage me to read it sooner than later. All right, you guys, well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. Be kind to someone today, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!